All right, 365 days of horsemanship, day 27. So definitely a better day than yesterday. Yesterday was unusual for me in that I brought a lot of anger to the yard, and I kind of had to find a way to deal with that. I actually just today was listening to a session by Elsa Sinclair through her Patreon account about separation anxiety in horses, and it was super interesting, and definitely gave me an idea of, because I think Mia almost has the opposite of separation anxiety, and she doesn't like it when people are near her, and I kind of came up with a nice little sort of theoretical pattern that I could play with her in the arena, and bring Lawrence in, and basically, just kind of let him sit somewhere, which I think, he would be pretty happy with, and, move around with her and, ask difficult questions, and then come and stand with him and be still and just create that positive experience. Because Elsa talked about with separation anxiety is, it's like that age-old adage of like, make the wrong thing difficult and the right thing easy, right? And if I want her to feel better around other horses, then being around other horses needs to be better than not being with them, and that's a really great opportunity to set that up. It's not freedom-based training, but it definitely gave me that idea of how I could do that in a more controlled environment. I definitely could also play with her in the herd with that. I think I would want to have more time, because I think if I play with it with her and Lawrence in the arena and it doesn't really go that well, or I mess it up or my timing is bad, I feel like that kind of doesn't matter so much. Whereas in the herd, that's where I want long-term improvement. So I feel like it's almost like I can take her out of that environment to practice before I try it, like in the most important situation. But another thing that we talked about, or that Elsa talked about in this session, was about co-regulation, and about your emotions, and how horses can begin to regulate for themselves and then ultimately be able to regulate you, and definitely I think that's something that happens a lot, actually. I think my horses are sort of in some ways used to regulating me, or that's definitely something that happens in our relationship, because ultimately for me, especially with my job now, I've always done horses because I had horses and been around horses because I loved them, but I think definitely now it feels more like a need. Like horses for me now are a necessary method of self-care, because I can feel so overwhelmed sometimes by life and work, and just the way that the world is, and coming and spending time with the horses is something that does help regulate me. And yeah, yesterday, obviously I came with some big emotions, and yeah, we managed to have an okay day. And so today, I thought it was really poignant listening to Elsa's session, and I came up with the idea that I would put into practice maybe this like reverse separation anxiety thing, and bring the two horses up, bring Mia and Lawrence, and play with that a little bit in the arena, and just kind of see how that went, and just be very, flexible with it. I went to get Mia, and that was really nice. She came over pretty much straight away, and actually it was a nice first meeting, because she actually had something in her eye that was obviously really annoying her, and I was able to get that out for her. So that was like a lovely, start to the day, like, oh, I've come. Like, it was nice to see that she saw me coming and felt that that was okay, that I would help her with that, and she showed me straight away that was what was happening. And I brought her up and let her graze for a bit, and I went to get Lawrence, and he was just not really that interested. He was like grazing, and so I chose instead to play with him just when he was grazing for 10 minutes, just a little bit of freedom-based training, just around yield points. I'm just putting my hand on his yield point, and just waiting for him to just soften, like just turn his head or feel better in some way. And that was good. There wasn't, I would have liked, it would have been ideal if there had been a moment where he really turned and connected with me and I could have gone, nice, that's really nice. And then like left. But I didn't get that, but I did get like a nice eye look. And I definitely, recently, I think, you know, the theme of today was kind of asking for less and leaving on less. I think that was mostly successful. So then I brought Mia up on her own. So obviously changed the plan, but that was okay. Took her in the arena, played with her online, and yeah, started off with the walking with her with my hand on her neck and on her shoulder, and that feels like that's progressing really nicely. Again, I definitely feel like that's softening, and I've started to be able to play with it where I can like put my hand on her and keep stroking and keep doing that action until she feels better about it. And then I stop and I'm just in flow with her and we're just walking together. And that felt really nice. That felt like we were that was nice conversation. And then I went over to the mounting block and I kind of had this idea today, and I think this will be kind of a running theme over the next sort of couple weeks, or as long as it kind of takes for this pattern of exercises to get boring, which it always does at some point. That the mounting block is the place of rest. Like that's where we go, like, nice, we have a good feeling, now let's go to the mounting block. All I'm going to ask you to do is stand here while I put the mounting block here and put my hand over your back, and that's all I want from you. And yeah, and I got a nice lick and chew on that, a nice release of feeling better. So then we left that, went on to so my two main goals, I think, for her in the arena is to be able to ride and to be able to trot. We can trot, but to be able to feel okay about trotting and to be able to get on are the goals at the moment. And so in terms of the trotting, it's tricky because, you know, on the one hand, I could just go back and forth between the two exercises, because what happens when I ask her to trot is like the nose goes out to the outside and it's a no. And I think that's partially coming from the same place as not feeling okay with me at her shoulder. But I think she's feeling better and better about that. And I also just think that's almost like habitual of her, just like disconnecting. And so the pattern I tried to use today was to ask her to trot, and then like wait until she felt better about me asking the question and then release. So like we've really like taken it right back, and just as I say, like with her just not pushing past that no, because she's got so much brace in her, and she'll like keep doing things and keep doing things and keep doing things, but like the tension keeps going up and up and up. And I think we just need to just keep like breaking that down, like working it like a muscle and just being like, okay, like we've reached like a hard point. We're not going to overwork this. We're just going to wait for it to release, like this tension that we've got now. Like the moment that it just goes in, we're like, nice, that's it. Like that's, yeah, we felt better about that. So that was positive and powerful. I don't think my timing was very good, but it took me sort of like a few times to really solidify that was what I was going to do, and that was the best technique to use and the best way to tackle this problem. So I'm pleased with that, to be honest. I am pleased with that. I'm pleased with how that was today. We kind of like bounced around. I really only used the hand on the shoulder as like a warm-up. I didn't go back to it. We then kind of bounced between asking for the trot and the mounting block. And like maybe in hindsight, there's room there for something else. Or maybe, you know, the shoulder just needs like some more time or some more focus. But that I kind of I don't want to put that into the main session, because I think it's nice to have that consistency of the start of the session. And I think if I put it in the middle of the session as well, it might get boring more quickly, which is what I want to avoid, because I think that's powerful. But maybe there is room just to take the pressure off those two games, is just to add something else. I'm not sure what that is. I'll have to think about that. But overall, I think it was a positive session. And what I'm really pleased with is I can kind of see all of these sessions building up of just walking. And I think that, you know, there's such a place for that. And also today, like ultimately, yeah, we didn't trot, but we did walk faster. So like from a fitness perspective, there is still progression. It's not as fast as in my ideal world I'd want it to be, but I think, you know, I am still progressing, and I think that's really good. It definitely felt like a positive session today, and I think she was happy to see me. So that was really good. So yeah, so it was a good day. It was a good day. Yeah, it's Thursday today. I think, no, it's Wednesday today, Thursday tomorrow. Elsa comes on Saturday. So, yeah, just trying to keep everything really light and nice and easy, and just set everybody up really well for the weekend. And, yeah, we'll see what tomorrow brings.